Day 3. The morning of the final day came with a calm sky, but Stephen's heart was far from calm. He had barely slept. The pain of yesterday's humiliation still echoed in his mind. The raindrops had long dried from his clothes, but not from his memory. Daniel tried to cheer him up. "Stephen," he said softly, "don't let them decide your worth. Today, just do what you do best." Stephen nodded slowly. "I'll try," he whispered. When they arrived at the auditorium, the atmosphere was different. The crowd was bigger, louder, and more divided. Some came to see him rise again, but many were waiting to watch him fail. Even Tund and his friends wore confident smiles, joking that Stephen's luck had already expired. The final round began, a mix of mathematics, English general knowledge, and a surprise section, problem solving. Stephen sat there, calm but focused. The first few questions came fast. He answered some right, missed a few. Then came the final segment, a real-life problem every department had to solve. It was a computer-based question, one that tested logic, reasoning, and creativity. The question read, if you were asked to design a system that helps the school identify students with learning challenges early, how would you approach it? The hall went quiet. Everyone started scribbling. Stephen's fingers trembled at first, but then something shifted inside him. He remembered his mother's words. He remembered every time people mocked him. And he remembered the children in his neighborhood who struggled to learn because no one believed in them. He began to write, slowly, thoughtfully, and passionately. His ideas flowed like water. The judges watched in silence, impressed by his clarity and vision. When time was up, each contestant presented their solution. Most spoke of complex systems filled with big terms and software jargon. But Stephen stood, voice soft but steady, and said, sometimes, identifying a struggling student doesn't start with computers. It starts with care. I want to build a system that allows teachers to listen before they label. The hall went silent. Even the judges paused. It wasn't just an answer, it was truth. After long deliberations, the head judge stood up, holding the final result sheet. In third place, Tund from engineering. In second place, Joseph from science. And in first place, he smiled, Stephen from computer science. The crowd erupted. Some stood in shock. Others screamed in joy. Tears rolled down Daniel's face as he hugged his friend tightly. Stephen covered his face, unable to stop crying. The same boy they laughed at now stood as the champion of the entire school. As he received his award, Stephen looked at the crowd and said quietly, never look down on anyone, because sometimes the ones you laugh at are just gathering strength to shock you. The hall went silent again, this time in respect. And from that day, Stephen's name became a symbol of hope in the Polytechnic. Epilogue, after the victory, after the final day of the competition, the whole Polytechnic buzzed with one name, Stephen. The same boy who once walked around unnoticed was now the talk of every department. Students who once mocked him now wanted to sit beside him. Lecturers who barely knew him now called him our shining star. But Stephen didn't let the fame change him. He still walked with the same old bag, the same worn shoes, and that same quiet smile. Deep inside, he wasn't doing it for attention. He was doing it for the two souls who weren't there to see his victory, his parents. When he got home that evening, he placed his award plaque on the small table beside his mother's old photograph. He knelt down, touched the frame gently, and whispered, "Mama, Papa, we did it." Tears filled his eyes, but they weren't tears of pain this time. They were tears of peace. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The school management awarded him a full scholarship. Later, he was invited to represent the Polytechnic at national competitions. He became a mentor to struggling students, teaching them not just subjects, but courage. And whenever anyone asked how he did it, Stephen always gave the same answer. Never look down on yourself, no matter who looks down on you. Sometimes your background is just a reason you need to rise. From that day, Stephen's story spread beyond the Polytechnic walls, a story of pain, faith, and quiet victory. Because sometimes the loudest success stories begin with silence. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. God bless you.